So this is my son's room. He's getting really excitable, loves to slam doors. So you can see that slammed the door and it actually looked a lot worse than this. But so trying to fix it, we'll see how it goes. But basically I just took a flathead screwdriver and then kind of went in and wedged it and tried to like pull it together. My wife actually patched this before, so this is the second time we're fixing it. So I kind of inserted this in and kind of wedged it forward because this part was more inside. So wedged it in, pulled it out so it's a little bit more flush. And then, so I kind of took out a couple chunks so you can see them on the floor here. But now what I'm gonna just do is, I hope this works, but there's this like spackling compound, so you can just spread it on and then paint over it once it dries. So you just have to use like one of these scraper tools to like get it nice and flat and flush. So we're going to open this up. Spackling compound. So this is what it looks like. It's kind of like marshmallowy stuff. So yeah. So basically just take a good amount. It always kind of scrapes off, but just get it in the holes, spread it in there. I'm not pushing too hard because I don't want like the, you know, the part that I just like pushed out to get pushed back in. So just kind of try to fill the holes as best as you can, but definitely like the really bad parts I'm being more aggressive on, just leaving some extra because you can just scrape it off. Okay. And so my goal here is just to kind of, this isn't going to look like aesthetically beautiful by any means, but definitely don't plan on living in this house forever. So yeah, we're going to do it kind of cheap and dirty. All right. So I'm just going to like scrape up on it. I'm going to keep this as flat as I can. So here we go. Scrape up on it and then you get some leftover. So I'm gonna scrape this off with my finger, rub it back on here, and then go again. I suppose I could go the other way, which maybe makes more sense. So I'm just scraping it down on this again. But I'm kind of running out of, I might add a little bit more back on to see how it's just kind of scraping off. So yeah, I'm gonna rub a little bit more on this really bad part. And then I'm gonna go at it from, sorry, I'm doing a terrible job of filming. I'm gonna go top to bottom this time. Okay, so I'm just getting it off my fingers. All right, let's try top to bottom here. So nice and flat. Okay, you can also like use both sides too, so rather than scraping it off, I'm just gonna flip it and go at it again. Scrape this off, flip it. Just putting like moderate pressure, more light, I would say, not moderate. Okay, it's not great, but for my standards, I'm gonna call that good. And then what I'm gonna do is once it dries, I'm gonna sand this. So I'm gonna wait a little bit and then I'm gonna try and sand it, try to smooth it out a little bit. This stuff, it says no sanding needed. I don't know if I believe that. So I'm still gonna sand it a little bit, try to get it to smooth out. All right, so I'll be back. Okay, I waited about an hour, so for it to dry, I think it should be good. I just have one of these sanding blocks. You don't want it to be too gritty, like harsh, or else it'll just rip off all the spackling. So just kind of like a nice fine sanding block, just to kind of take off some of the minor imperfections and just try and smooth it out a little bit more. Okay, so it's still a little rough. I'm hoping the paint will kind of seep into these holes and smooth it out a little bit more. I could do another run of the spackling, but this is good enough. I'm just gonna paint over it and I'll show you the finished product at the end. Okay, I put on a nice thick coat of paint. Still pretty noticeable, but I think if you take a step back, not nearly as bad as it was. So I'm gonna call this a success. Not great, but For a house that I'm not going to keep forever, I'd say it passes. All right, good luck. First time home fix it, people, question mark? You got this.